Hey, it's Lori Gann Smith, costume designer for Nashville Repertory Theatre. And today we're going to talk with Drew Ogle, who is our executive director at Nashville Repertory Theatre, but actually started his career with us as the managing director. And he's going to talk a little bit about that position today. Drew, can you give us a little overview about what the managing director of the theater does?
Well, sure I can, Lori, and I'm so excited to be speaking to the teachers and the students today. I'm very excited about that. If you think about an arts organization, that we're basically known for what we do. So, of course, you know, the ballet produces ballets and the opera produces operas. And we here at Nashville Repertory Theatre, it's the plays that we present. And it's our educational programs and it's our special events that we produce. And so that's the artistic side. That's how you may know us. But there's this whole other side to the company. You could call it maybe the business side. And that is what I do. I oversee those functions. So that would include things like accounting and marketing, would include sales, would include hiring people, training them. A very important function that we do is fundraising. So those are all the things that a managing director leads.
Great. So what kind of skills do you think are very important for this type of position?
This type of position, it requires both hard skills and soft skills. And when I say hard skills, I'm talking about things like being able to read and understand financial statements. You have to be able to prepare budgets and create business plans based on those budgets. You have to analyze data and you have to be able to interpret trends from that data. And you have to be able to understand and conduct things like advertising and communications and be an effective public speaker. So those are kind of the hard skills, but they're also what you would call soft skills. You really have to be an effective leader of individuals and of teams, and you have to be able to build relationships with donors and with audience members. And so there are just so many different skills involved in what I do.
That's a lot. So what would you say some of the challenges are for working in that kind of field?
Well, I think you just nailed it. You know, it's very fast paced and it's a lot. A managing director always wears many different hats and is always juggling many balls at once. The opportunities that you have to make a company successful, or the challenges that you might face in trying to make your company successful, these are always changing. And not only are things always changing, but the change is happening in many different arenas all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, you have to pay attention to what's happening inside your own organization. How are the folks who are working with you, how are they doing? How are your systems doing? Or how are your processes doing? But then you also have to pay attention to what's happening in your community and pay attention to what's happening in the arts industry and the wider community at large. You know, if you think about the things that we are dealing with right now at the first part of 2021, issues of racial equality and COVID-19, these are big industry-wide issues over which we have little control, but we still have to respond to be effective. So we're always looking out all different ways all at once.
So what are some of the rewards that you found in working as managing director?
One big reward for me is that although I am not a singer or an actor or a dancer, I am still making theater. That's very important to me. So, you know, at Nashville Rep, I help select shows that we're going to do. I help decide how we're going to produce them. And I'm involved in many different artistic decisions along the way. So I'm helping set the creative direction of the company, and that's very important to me.
What kind of education do you think is needed for this? Are there different avenues to come into a managing director position?
There really are. What's more important than a formal education are the skills that you have. And I have met people in my field who have acquired those skills by graduating high school, going right into working in an arts organization or a nonprofit organization, and they have learned those skills on the job, and they've worked their way up to leadership positions. But I also know people who have obtained those skills through formal education, because you can get a bachelor's degree in arts administration, you can get a master's in arts administration, or in other fields like nonprofit leadership or finance that are very applicable as well. And so personally, I've done both. I've always worked in the field, but at the same time, I also went to school and got the formal education too.
What kind of student do you think would thrive in this kind of position? Who would you encourage to check this out?
If you love the arts, if you are a problem solver, this career could be for you. If you're a lifelong learner and you love to meet new challenges head on, you like how things are always changing and you like to respond to that, this career could be for you. If you like to look at information and think, okay, what does this mean? And what are the patterns here? And how could this affect me and my company? Then it would be for you.
And where can we send students who are interested in arts administration or being a managing director or some other kind of admin at a theater or other nonprofit? Where can we send them for more information?
Well, definitely start with the internet. You can start online and Google terms like arts administration or nonprofit leadership, and you'll find a lot of information there. You'll also, I'm sure, find a lot of information from schools about how to be part of their programs. But more than anything, I would encourage students to reach out to the arts leaders in our community and just ask questions. I always love it when a student emails me and wants to speak with me about what I do at Nashville Rep. And in general, those of us in leadership positions love to help develop new leaders in our communities. So if this field interests you, connect with someone out there and just find a way to say hi.
That's great advice. Thank you so much for being here and talking with the students, and really appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much for having me.